This is Drew and Charlie's top 25 college football pick for week 2. Woo!
Alright, welcome back to week 2 of Drew and Charlie's top 25 picks. Last week I went 20-1. Charlie here went 16-5.
Woo!
Almost called the Virginia one. UCLA squeaked that out. He called Oklahoma State staying with Florida State. That was a surprised me.
Magic.
Braxton Miller's out for the season. I don't think Ohio State's going to be in the playoff anymore because of it. I have them, so I'm going to replace them in my Final Four since we did the show before he got hurt. And I'm going to replace Ohio State with Michigan State in my Final Four. And then, do you think the Pac-12 is as good as people think?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think they are. They did not look. Most of them didn't look very good last week. A couple of them did. And then all the talk about SEC's down because our quarterbacks are all new and stuff. Well, if you look back at the past few national champions, guess what? A lot of them had first-year starting quarterbacks.
Boom.
So we'll go ahead and put that one to rest. We'll get into our top 25. We got Louisville versus Murray State.
Hey, I like Bobby Petrino at Louisville, man. I think he's going to have them back where he had them before he left the first time. Get them to about as nationally prominent as they can be. Top 5, top 10 team every year. I like Louisville big.
Same here. I'll go Louisville big. Number 24, Missouri at Toledo.
I'm going to go with Missouri. Toledo don't have the athletes. I think Missouri's not going to be as good as they were last year, but they'll win this one big.
I agree with you. South Carolina State at Clemson.
I didn't even know there was a South Carolina State. I'll pick Clemson.
I'm going Clemson big. Rebound game for them as well. We got San Diego State at North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I got North Carolina big over San Diego State.
Michael Jordan.
Next game, East Carolina at South Carolina. I think this is going to be a little closer than people might think. Well, people might think it's close after the way Texas A&M just handled them. But East Carolina, they've won 10 games, I think, the past 2 seasons.
They're pretty good. Where's it at?
It's in South Carolina.
Yeah. I'll go South Carolina, not by much.
Yeah, I agree. Number 20, Kansas State at Iowa State.
I'm going to go Kansas State. Bill Snyder always produces a quality football team. I think they'll win pretty big.
I agree. McNeese State at Nebraska.
I don't know what McNeese State is, so I'm going to go Nebraska. Hey, did you see that guy catch it behind his back?
Yeah, that was a nice catch.
That was fantastic.
That's probably one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never heard of them either, so Nebraska. Their running back will probably get over 200 rushing yards, getting a half again.
Yeah, he's good.
Western Illinois at Wisconsin.
I'm going to go Wisconsin. They played a tough game against LSU, but I think LSU's depth got the best of them. I think they'll probably just run Western Illinois into the ground.
I agree. I think they played the best game they could play against LSU. They tired out. The big physical power and speed ended up taking over, and LSU got them late in that game. But Wisconsin big. Number 17, Arizona State at New Mexico.
Arizona State.
Arizona State big. Michigan at Notre Dame. This game's very interesting to me. It's the last time these two are going to play for a while. We don't know when they're going to come back on.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
You know stuff.
And then Notre Dame looked pretty good offensively last week with Golson back at the helm.
Yeah.
Michigan is one of those I don't know teams. They played Appalachian State. We knew they weren't going to come in and win again. So this one is kind of tough.
Toss up, I'm going Notre Dame.
I agree. At Notre Dame, and I'm going Notre Dame. And then we got number 15, Ole Miss at Vandy.
Bo Wallace has a cool name. I'm going Ole Miss.
I'm going Ole Miss because Vanderbilt got destroyed by Temple last week and looked like they didn't know what football was.
Yeah.
One of the better games of the week, USC, number 14, USC at number 13, Stanford.
That's going to be a really good game. I think Stanford usually gets the best of USC, and I'll say they're going to do it again this year. I still don't think USC is back to where they'd like to be.
I agree 100%. I think USC is still not quite there. Stanford over USC. Sam Houston State at LSU.
Sam Houston State has a cool name, but last time I picked this cool name school, I lost, so I'm going LSU.
I agree. LSU big at home. Memphis at UCLA.
UCLA big.
I agree. They looked a little rough to say against Virginia, but
First game of the year.
I think they'll
Held everything back.
Next game, I'm going to Northwestern State at Baylor. I'm going to go Baylor.
Northwestern State? Is that
State, yeah.
I didn't know that was a school. I guess Baylor, their quarterback cracked his vertebrae, probably not going to play. It'll probably,
I don't think he needs to play in that game. Yeah, they'll be all right. Lamar at number 9, Texas A&M. That's a pretty big jump they got for handing South Carolina that pounding. I'll go with A&M though.
Lamar? Is that like one person?
Yeah, like I think Lamar Odom's quit basketball. He's playing college football now.
By himself.
Yeah.
Well, one person versus 11. I'll take 11 every time. Texas A&M.
Another pretty good game that's on later in the day is Virginia Tech at Ohio State. Who you got in that one?
You know what? I think Virginia Tech might pull out the upset. That'll be my upset pick. I think they'll get hyped up to go to
That's yours.
Columbus. I don't think Ohio State is as good as people think.
No, I agree. I don't think they're as good as people think either. My upset pick will be the next game though. I'm going to go Ohio State in a very close game, win by less than a field goal. Next game, number 7, Michigan State at Oregon. This will be mine. I'm going to go number 7, Michigan State. I think they're underrated a little bit, especially coming into this game. Every time Oregon seems to play a big, powerful team that plays rough defense and stuff, they don't seem to show up. Stanford's beaten them the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. It'll be a good game. Oregon's fairly consistent. You know what you're going to get out of them. Michigan State has just really came up to the top in the last 2 or 3 years. So I think this will be the game where you see who Michigan State really is. I'm going to go with Oregon.
All right. Number 6, Georgia is on a bye week. Next, you'll give us the keys for Auburn to beat San Jose State.
If the secondary will quit crapping around, San Jose State's going to come and try to sling the ball. I think just because Auburn has way better athletes than San Jose State, they'll be able to stop it. They'll run for another 350, 400, and they'll win big. This will be over by halftime.
I think Auburn could win with their second-string team in this game. It should definitely be over by halftime. Number 4, Oklahoma at Tulsa.
I think Oklahoma's going to throttle them pretty good.
I agree. Florida Atlantic at Alabama. Alabama, they didn't look great last week, but then if you look at the quarterback stats, he actually had decent numbers. He just didn't have any touchdowns.
Yeah.
Their defense is what looked shaky.
Shaky Jakes.
But I'm going to go with Alabama big over Florida Atlantic.
Once every 2 to 3 years, Alabama usually has a small school come in and upset them. They really seem to struggle with the small schools sometimes. Maybe it's just because Nick Saban doesn't like to beat up on the smaller schools. Maybe. But I still think Alabama will have this one pretty handily.
Yeah. And our last game, Citadel at Florida State. This game should be over at halftime, if not in the first quarter. Jameis Snow Crab Winston will put it away pretty quick.
But hey, Citadel wins this joke. We're partying in Charleston, okay?
It's true.
We're going to Joseph P. Riley Stadium. We're throwing down.
Heck yeah.
But Florida State's going to win by like 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in this week. We hope to see you again next week.